So what's the deal with GlenAllachie 10-year-old cask strength? Well, we've got PX Pedro Ximénez casks, virgin oak casks, and red wine casks in this bottling. It's 59.7% unchill filtered and natural color. You better stay tuned for Whisky Whistle. Greetings, you lot. Thanks for joining in. I'm Mark, the host of Whisky Whistle. It's actually the 10th anniversary of the channel. Thanks for checking out this video. What have we got today? We have GlenAllachie 10-year-old cask strength batch 12. So that's really awesome. And it's 59.7%. We have 3 different casks at play in this bottling. PX Pedro Ximénez sherry casks. We also have red wine casks, and lastly, virgin oak casks, probably in descending order of volume, I would imagine. Now, as I said, it's unchill filtered and it's natural color. So we will really laud this lovely color that's in the bottling. Let's get that poured. Let me just make sure that the cork is nice and moist. It's one of those words that are just kind of a little bit weird. Moist. Okay, well, slightly exciting cork pull. So that's great. Lovely aromas right from the bottle. I dare say some chocolate and some toffee. Okay, let's get that poured. A decent pour, not an over pour. That is probably just about 30 milliliters. It might be a tad more. All right. Now, is this my first? No, it's not my first GlenAllachie. I had the 15-year-old way back when. Are there other GlenAllachies in the archives? I have a feeling that there is, and there's going to be more coming. I'll showcase that in a minute. But anyway, what you're going to find in this video, obviously a nice review of this whiskey, a unbiased, clear review, a full review that you can jump in with and follow along. I bought this myself, and I got it on sale. I want to say it was about $100 Canadian. Thereabouts. It might have been a little more or a little less. I can't seem to find the receipt, which I normally like to show off. Now, the facts of the bottling are right here on the front of the label. So we can see that it is natural color and unchill filtered right there. However, there's no cask information on the bottling. There may be some on the outer packaging, the box, but I've since discarded of that. But anyway, it's 10 years old, and what Billy Walker, the master distiller, says, he says it's always bottled at natural cask strength for full flavor delivery. So what does that mean? That means that anything other than cask strength is not full flavor delivery. You can fight me on that, but I'm definitely a proponent of selling a product undilute. I think that would be the most honest way to approach whiskey. You'd have to educate, though. This is the issue, because I don't just drink this straight. I'm drinking it with water, a little bit of each, because that's the way I like it. Anyway, before we get into this review, why not hit that subscribe button, hit the bell. That will make sure that my videos are queued up in your YouTube feed. And finally, check me out on Patreon, patreon.com/Whisky Whistle. You'll find a bunch of other patrons in the credits, the end video. There we go, the end video credits. You'll see that you can join that group get your name in there. Get videos first. Let's have a look at the color. Lovely shade. It is almost reddish. And it's interesting that we have these 3 different casks, all of which impart some serious color to the whiskey. 10 years old, and it's darker than a lot of 20-year-old whiskeys that are for sale on the market. At least, even if they have color added. This has absolutely no E150 added at whatsoever. No added color. Beautiful. All right, so let's get into the nose neat. I really love that virgin oak cask and the way it works with a bit of age. 10 years old is the beginning of a well-aged spirit. You think about cognac. 10 years old qualifies for XO. 10 years old used to be the pinnacle of whiskey back in the day. And then it became 12. And then 17. 18. Of course, now I think we're up to the oldest whiskey at something like 84 years old. Which I think is simply just a monetary instrument unless you are ultra rich and can pop that cork, pop that cherry, and get into that untouched bottling that's been sitting for close to 100 years. Wild. All right. So the first impression that I get is that virgin oak cask has done a lot of the heavy lifting in this bottling. Rich toffee, some cola balls, some type of delicious fruit gummies, maybe the cola gummies. It's very, very cola forward. Boy, with the way this is smelling, I wonder what the virgin oak GlenAllachie will be like. I think it's going to be fantastic. A very potent nose. You don't really get a lot of spirit coming through. Wonderful. It's not sharp, despite the fact that it is, 59.7%? Yes, 59.7. Sweet vanilla cola balls. Freshly sawn oak. A timber yard after a rain. And I know what that smells like because I used to live near a timber yard. A little bit of cedar. Wonderful. Really, really lovely nose. Very fresh. Very virgin oak forward. Let's see what happens on the palate, shall we? Cheers! A little bit more sherry sweetness coming in on the palate. Some raspberry candy zinginess. It's pretty tart. I can feel the little bit of sweat on my brow coming through, which normally happens with sour things that I really enjoy. Zingy, fresh, delicious. The raspberry, the cola balls. In the finish, I'm getting a little bit of very, very dark cocoa, high percent cocoa dark chocolate coming through. The kind that's dry as a bone. I think I just bumped the camera. Sorry about that. You'd think I had hippopotamuses in the house. All right. Yes, very, very much so. A very virgin oak dominated whiskey, which I think is fantastic. And it is balanced with the PX sherry casks. Wine casks, I don't really get a yeasty wine note, but let's see if that comes out with water. But let me take one final sip here. Neat, I mean. I think the wine casks are giving it some breadiness, some earthiness. It's the yeast, but it's not coming off as very yeasty. And the finish, sweet, zingy, tart, cola balls. Very, very lovely finish. And again, in this bottling, there's no flaw in this particular bottling. Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We'll just put that in. That's about 19, 20 drops. About 1.25 milliliters. Verified right before this video just to make sure. I checked a while back, but it's like, I better check again. 15 drops, 1 milliliter. Okay. Gentle swirls. We don't want to agitate it too much. Oops. No. If you do shake it up, then just give it a little bit of time before you stick your nose in. Let the whiskey calm down a bit. Let those vapors waft away a little. Okay, so the nose now with water. Well, it really killed the nose, actually. All I'm getting is some... Oh, here, it's coming on back. Isn't that interesting? It was absolutely just silence. Nothing but crickets there for a little bit. Okay. Definitely more PX wine casks coming through with water added. Raspberry peeking through. A little bit of nice fruity gummies. Gummy bears, gummy worms. A fresh bag of dried cranberry. Hopefully you can see what I'm getting at there. All right, so very nice, subtle change with water added. Give it time, though, as I just displayed. Onto the palate with water, and a cheers to you once again. Much more wine and sherry influence with water added. I think I put too much in my mouth. Quite overpowering with its tartness. But I'm really enjoying this bottling. And I really had to slow down my consumption so that I could make sure I had a respectable amount of something left in the bottle for this review. Much more wininess. Both the PX as well as the red wine casks are coming through with water added. Some fruit skins, plum skins, and apricot skins. It's warming. That wine cask and the yeast and the sherry, giving it a very dessert-like flavor on the palate with water. Super enjoyable, and I think it's going to take a lot more water. And I know this is roughly about the amount I put in before. And I've drunk some of it, so I better put in less than that. But I think you're really going to get multiple gains with the addition of water. Probably all the way down to into the mid-20s with this particular whiskey. I mean, if you're an ABV dude, if you're a malt bro, if you're a whiskey bro, you're probably not putting water in there anyway. And I'm developing something, and that's going to be coming soon, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Did I bump this mic, or is it just flying away from me? Okay, so with a little extra water, some chocolate maraschino cherries, very, very dark. Wow, so I think that PX is really coming in here now with a hefty amount of water added. A little sweeter, a little bit less tart. It's fruitier. Some more bake shop sweets. We still have the gummy worms in there. And that yeasty, winey note is developing a little bit more. Really interesting that the virgin casks were at the forefront, neat. And now the wine and the sherry, the PX sherry casks, are coming in side by side with water added, with a substantial amount of water added. Final sip here. Really solid bottling, really enjoyable. Anyway, why don't we segue into the Whisky Whistle Whiskey Score? Should I give that one more little taste? I think I should. Well, the Whisky Whistle Whiskey Score. I like this more than the old Glenlivet Nadara, the sherry Nadarai, the sherry casks, and it's pretty solid. Not quite as good as the Tamdhu batch strength for the sherryness, but this is different. Well, folks, the Whisky Whistle Whiskey Score is going to be 86 out of 100. You heard it, 86 out of 100 is the Whisky Whistle Whiskey Score for GlenAllachie 10-year-old Batch 12 cask strength. Wonderful selection of casks. Very well married. I think that just straight up virgin oak would be something they should really run with. Anyway, deserves a malt hug. Whisky Whistle malt hug. And a little rub on the shoulder. Very lovely. Have you tried batch 12 or any other batches? What are your favorite batches? I think I've got batch 9 and 8. Batch 8 really wasn't up my alley. It was, of course, very drinkable, but not something I wanted to hit every night, that's for sure. This is certainly something that I would like to come back to every few days and get that virgin oakiness and etc. So as I mentioned, I've got another GlenAllachie coming up, and this is the Gratamaco wine cask finish. Very, very wine forward, but 48%, 10 years old. It was on sale. I couldn't pass it up. And I'd like to showcase that because they do so many of the wine cask finishes. You know, again, since it's peat season, I'm going to have to pull out the Ben Romick. This is Contrasts Organic and also very much virgin oak forward. In fact, fully matured in virgin oak. So that'll be nice. Speaking of virgin oak, we better run the gamut and go right up to 20 years old with this Millstone. One of my favorite whiskeys that I have not reviewed. I bought that a while back, and it's time to get that reviewed. All right? Anyway, so do stay tuned. I'll see you very soon. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell, check me out on Patreon, and stay tuned and check out those credits coming right up. And, have yourselves a wonderful day or night, whatever time it is, and enjoy your whiskey nice and slow and steady, all right? Take care, folks. This is Mark signing out. See you next time.